So the next step, as we start on the lower cabinets, if we have a corner unit, and that's what I mean by that is the corner and the desk is going to go out into an L shape. We need to start in the corner first. Okay, it's critical that we start there first. And with that, there's a pretty funky looking corner shelf. Now this is a multifunctional shelf. It has many VB holes, as you can see, and we put some white VBs in just so you can see against the dark wood a little bit better what I'm talking about. But that is for, let me just put this to one side. We will have this gable sitting here, and then we've got our curved desk gable that will go here. Now you need to have a curved desk gable so that this space doesn't become a dead space. You can actually access it and put things in there. Now, this gable can either go here or it can go here along this wall. And it totally depends. In this situation, it doesn't really matter. But in some applications, you may have a plug-in on one of these walls, and so that will determine which way you want to put this gable. And so with this corner shelf, it just gives you the ability to put this gable either on this wall or on this wall. And you need to just lay this shelf on top and figure out which VBs you need to install. With the desk gables, let me do it on this side, you've got these holes, as I mentioned before. The first line of holes and the last line of holes is for a 24-inch glide. The first line of holes and this middle line of holes is for an 18-inch. Now, there's a hole up here and a hole near the bottom. This is for the 24-inch shelf, the fixed shelf. So don't put it into this line of holes because you'll end up taking it apart and finding that you need to move that dowel over. So I just wanted to point that out. So let's go ahead and get this corner shelf installed. And like I say, it's a little bit easier when you have someone helping you with this, but see what I can do by myself here. So okay. So we're going to tighten that up. Now we can go ahead and place this corner gable on. Make sure all the dowels are pushed in. And there we have it. Corner unit that's all ready to go, and we'll then carry on down either side in a nice L-shaped pattern. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just far easier to install the glides and all the hardware while the gables are laying down. Saves a lot of awkward crawling into small spaces to install it after the fact. With the hardware in place, what you want to do is put this cabinet together on the ground, and that just makes things a lot easier. So that cabinet is put together. I'm just going to put the toe kick on, and then that's ready to go in. The next unit that goes next to this corner is actually a pull-out tray for printers. And because this corner has already been built, I can't build this cabinet and put it into place, and you'll run into that. So what I've done is I've put all the hardware on first, and then I'm going to put the shelving on the cabinet, and I'll just put it into position here and just get my shelving into place. On the bottom of these desk gables, the holes don't actually go all the way down, so the very bottom hole is where the fixed shelf will go. Now, you may ask, well, gee, that's going to be pretty tough now to position my next fixed shelf in there and tighten those VBs. And it would be difficult if I had to come in from underneath. You can use a stubby screwdriver, or I've got a little ratchet with just a little Phillips drive on it, and that works great for getting down there and doing that type of thing. But because it's not going to be open above this bottom fixed shelf, there's going to be a shelf or a pull-out here. We can actually do a little trick that just helps the installation a little bit, and that is put this shelf upside down so the VBs are actually pointing upwards. And that just makes the installation a little bit easier. And with those VBs pointing upwards, I don't have to crawl underneath to tighten them up. And because there's not going to be any weight on this lower shelf, it's perfectly fine to do it like that. That bottom shelf is just giving support to this cabinet and holding it together. We need to install the toe kick, and as I mentioned earlier, we can't lay this cabinet down and put in the toe kick like I've been doing in the past. What I need to do is I'll install this toe kick and then drive some screws down here. You won't see those screws because of the pull-out shelf. If you did see the screws, then you can get some screw head caps to put on and hide those screw heads. Okay, so we're going to put this kick in and use whatever tools are handy here. I'm going to put a 1/4 inch and then over to the inch mark, which would give me a reference of 3/4 inches in the middle, which I know that then my kick is sitting there. And then I've got 2.5 inch screws, and I'm just going to put it right in the center. And there we go. That's 2. And so there we have the kick installed quite easily with that method.